It's 2024, and if you don't like the same TV shows as some people, then apparently you deserve to be deplatformed. I'm gonna get real pissed off in this one. Hello, I'm Marvin, and I'm the Movie Monster. The Acolyte shills are the most pathetic, mouth-breathing invertebrates to ever crawl out of the primordial ooze. A festering, mewling, petulant group of adult children who fail to understand simple facts. Fact: no one watched this show. Fact: it made no money. Fact: Disney canceled the show because of the above two facts. Fact: if you disagree with any of the above 3 points, you're an idiot. Look, if you like The Acolyte, I'm happy for you. It's way more fun to like things than to hate them, but you have to accept the simple reality that people didn't like it enough to watch it in enough volume for Disney to spend money on it again. If the Firefly fans could understand this 20 years ago plus, then you can understand it now. But these people who like this show can't comprehend that something that they like has been taken from them. Hell, I'm not even convinced they liked or even watched it. To me, it seems like a bunch of virtue-signaling Star Wars fans, or wokies as I like to call them because they're typically hairy monsters who scream incoherently, saw an opportunity to cry victim, to put the attention on them, and to weaponize that attention to attack people they hate. In this case, that's Gary from Nerdrotic, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, and Ryan Kinnell. All 3 of these guys do nothing more than express their opinions on YouTube, and they're 3 of the very best there is in this business. All 3 are also incredibly nice, incredibly gracious, and humble men who I had the pleasure of meeting in the last year. But the wokies are worked up, and they're launching an organized targeted cancellation and harassment campaign against these guys and their channels, claiming the usual racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, blah, 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 that we've heard 1,000,001 times before. Now, what's hysterical to me is that they accuse Gary, Jeremy, and Ryan of creating targeting harassment campaigns against Lucasfilm and specific actors like Amanda Sameface. Yet they're doing this by organizing a targeted harassment campaign against them and using X as a platform to spread their hate. Let's discuss it today on Tooney Town TV. All right, strap yourselves in, monsters, because I am hot right now. I am so pissed off from looking at what I've had to look at all day with all this garbage. We're going to dive right in. We got an article here from That Park Place. The Acolyte cancellation backlash. Seemingly organized effort underway to have YouTube silence critics of the show. And this was written by WDW Pro, the boss himself. Okay, and as a member of That Park Place team, as the theme park reporter for That Park Place, I am proud to be able to read this one to you because Pro nails it as always on this one. Viewpoints aren't always the same from individual to individual, from community to community, from nation to nation. Expression of those viewpoints, however, is vital to the understanding of individuals, not to mention the ability to navigate disagreements in a civilized, tolerable fashion. One area where there seems to be tremendous agreement, however, is that The Acolyte, a television show on Disney Plus created by Lucasfilm, was not a very great experience for viewers. The Acolyte currently has a horrendous 3.7 audience score on Metacritic and an 18% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Claims that the show was, quote, review bombed seem hard to square with other shows having received excellent audience reception in the past, even when their messaging has gone against those who might have disliked The Acolyte. For example, it's hard to figure out how Bobby could have done so well at the box office with audiences, even when being accused of some degree of misandry. Where were the vitriolic rage betas for that film? Why were they likewise impotent with Hocus Pocus 2? How is it that Inside Out 2 managed to avoid the same ire? It might be that audiences are not so easily predicted, and it also might be that there's simply little substance to claims that The Acolyte is under attack from some crazed group of people who want to end shows for featuring minorities. One might reasonably conclude that the same critics of Lucasfilm are probably also fans of Family Matters, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and any number of shows featuring minority casts, but which also did not delve into modern identitarianism in the same way. For the record, I also like Hang On with Mr. Cooper, Sister. There's plenty of shows that I love out there featuring predominantly minority casts. It's also very reasonable to think that the horrid viewership, near immediately cancellation of The Acolyte by Disney, and poor audience review scores are the result of a bad show with bad writing doing badly. Despite what should have been an indictment of Lucasfilm lead Kathleen Kennedy hiring the former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, Leslie Headland, to run the show, a new defense has sprung up. Instead of it being the fault of the wayward studio with rapidly declining engagement, it is instead the act of deranged trolls which derailed The Acolyte. Occam's razor, this is not. And Pro hit the nail on the head perfect there, because this is the thing. The failure of The Acolyte is on Leslie Headland, Kathleen Kennedy, and Dave Filoni. And yeah, the horrible actors, like this absolute disgrace to the profession of acting, Amandla Same Face. Seen here making the same face that she makes in every scene, and then she has the unmitigated gall to go online and start attacking people because her show got canceled, because it's her right, folks, her right to be on TV, to be famous, to be rich. Give me a break. Grow the hell up. You're 25 years old. Take some personal responsibility for the things that come out of your pie hole. Yeah, see, star of the show, Amanda Stenberg, drew some praise, but also a tremendous amount of controversy when she released a diss track aimed at taking on critics of The Acolyte while the ratings were still plummeting. Clearly, it didn't improve the situation. That diss track, by the way, was so cringe-inducing. It was absolutely painful to watch. She can't sing, she can't act, she can't dance. Apparently, she can play the violin. Maybe she should go back to doing that. Now, with the show canceled, the above monologue she provided on Instagram has set up a new confrontation. The claim is that folks didn't watch the show because of hatred, not because of poor writing, acting, or anything else. Instead, disliking the show is now synonymous with the worst of society. It's then easy to see how such an environment can breed a new, seemingly organized effort to demonetize and strike down prominent voices who failed to review The Acolyte well. It doesn't matter if they liked X-Men 97, Godzilla -1, Star Wars The Clone Wars, and the Rebels, or any other entertainment offerings. All that matters is if they reviewed The Acolyte poorly, they must be silenced. And here's one of them right now. Hate should not be a career path at Team YouTube. Demonetize Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, and Ryan Kinnell. What a load of hogwash. Gary, Jeremy, and Ryan never delve into actual racist topics. They push back on injecting modern identity politics into entertainment because they just want entertainment to be entertaining. They demand crazy things like decent writing, good acting, quality visual effects, things that we all should be striving for in entertainment. Look at this one. I've been on the internet a long time, and I remember what it was like before hate could be monetized on YouTube. I hope that Team YouTube takes this seriously. No one should be able to utilize hate to make bank. This makes the world less safe for all of us. Demonetize hatred. And look at this. This is all a concentrated effort complete with like fact sheets, well, quote fact sheets that they put together. If you want to talk about targeted harassment, they brought paperwork. Look at this one. I've spoken at length about this in the past, but the only way things get better is if Team YouTube does something to discourage this kind of content. Until then, it will only get worse. This is literally cancel culture at play. This is doomsday DEFCON 1 cancel culture. They know they're losing, and so they're all turning their keys at the same time with this stupid little ditto that they've got here with the little cartoon Millennium Falcon on it. And they're attempting to band together to pressure YouTube into silencing voices that disagree with them. This stupid one. The fandom menace has run rampant for far too long, and now a flourishing cottage industry of thinly veiled bigotry has been able to thrive while making fandom spaces a cesspool of hatred. It's time for Team YouTube to step up and enforce their terms of service. No, they're adhering to the YouTube terms of service. You're breaking the Twitter terms of services right now. You're breaking the X terms of services, and Elon Musk should drop kick you off the platform because you're engaging in targeted harassment. Now, Pro goes on to say, whether it's just a bunch of low engagement voices calling for the silences of pop culture critics, we might not cover the topic. However, Team YouTube has often replied directly to these posts, and many more we have not included for brevity's sake. Look at this. We really appreciate you bringing this to our attention. Mind reporting the channel video in the official reporting tool. If you haven't yet, this page has more info on how to do that. And she goes, will do. Look, she's just so thrilled with herself. She thinks she's winning here. In actuality, Team YouTube was probably just like, can you please stop blowing this up on Twitter and creating a scene on Twitter for us and just do the thing you're supposed to do if you think someone's violated the terms of service? While this may be YouTube's modus operandi to have people follow the normal channels of objection rather than creating a ruckus on X, it still needs to be addressed. That POC place condemns in the strongest possible terms anyone who treats another person poorly based on their skin color, origin, sex, etc. I am so proud to be a member of this organization with the way he worded that, because that is 100% how I feel, how Tooneytown TV feels, how Tooneytown Wrestling feels. Anything associated with me, if you're going to associate with me, that is the complete mission statement there. We condemn anyone who treats another person poorly based on those things: skin color, origin, sex, orientation, etc. However, now, weaponizing empathy with false flags intended to prevent negative discourse around a television show that some people didn't enjoy, is a real issue in today's world. And that's exactly what's happening here, folks. And Pro says, now I know that there are major issues happening all across our planet that deserve our attention. Maybe this is currently not the significant threat to civilized conversation that other pressing matters might be. That said, if this campaign is successful, It would have a serious impact on YouTube. Being critical of art is a key liberty necessary for the improvement of art. Being open to criticism is a sign of maturity. I'm going to inject my own thoughts here because when you respond so aggressively to criticism, it's because you understand that the criticism has hit a point. You realize that the criticism is pushing against something that you are insecure about because you don't have faith in your product. And having debate online necessitates that one side disagrees with the other. Shutting down that debate for the sake of preventing any negativity toward a piece of entertainment is a malignant effort and one we should not support. While criticism can go too far, and yes, being critical of art based on immutable human differences is awful, we must be careful that we not conflate legitimate critique with something far worse simply because it serves the purpose of the propagandists who wish all those with differing opinions be silenced. That's exactly it. No one that I watched, because, and if I had, I wouldn't have watched them again, said that this show is bad because there's black people in it, because there's women in it, because there's gay people in it. Nobody said that. People said that there's agenda in it. There's political messaging in it. They're pushing political messaging and agenda. But that was the least of our complaints about this show. It was the hacky writing. It was the horrible sets. It was the terrible acting. It was all the fault of this lady right here, Leslie Headland, former personal assistant of Harvey Weinstein, and the lady standing next to her, this plague on the Hollywood world, this plague on storytelling, this plague on quality entertainment, Kathleen Kennedy. Pro ends by saying, here's hoping that YouTube is wise enough to recognize the concentrated effort to cancel critical thinking in response to the cancellation of The Acolyte. The two are not the same, and only one should appropriately be revoked from this platform. I 100% agree with everything Pro said, and I stand by everything he said as a member of that Park Place. I 100% support this article, and it's my thoughts exactly as well. I personally can't believe, I can believe this is happening because, like I said, they're losing, and these participation trophy pansies do not know how to lose. When they're losing, it has to be somebody else's fault, and that person must pay, and that's what's happening right now. And they've chosen Gary, Ryan, and Jeremy. Three guys, by the way, the nicest guys on the planet. When I met them, man, they were so gracious. I was a brand new channel. I barely had 1,000 subscribers. I remember talking to them and just kind of asking for advice. And man, they took the time to sit with me and talk to me and give me advice. And just how much you want to bet Amanda Sameface or Leslie Headland would brush off one of their fans on the street? Not these guys. These guys were the epitome of graciousness and kindness. So guys, the one thing though, and I'm gonna mention it again in the closing, but I want to mention it again now just in case you don't stick with me to the end. Don't attack the people that are doing this. The people that you saw in those tweets above, don't go after them. Don't call them names. Don't sink to their level. Don't give them ammunition because that's the worst thing you can do. The thing that you can do to really help in this situation is support Nerdrotic, support Geeks and Gamers, support Ryan Kinnell, support their channels, support their streams. Let people know that you support them because, man, they do a great job. They are leading the charge. Them, along with a bunch of others. Pro, who wrote this article, he's another one of the pioneers. He's another one of the ones leading the charge. The Critical Drinker, Az, Mr. H, Culture Casino, Drunk 3PO, all of these people are leading the charge in the culture war. And guess what, guys? We're winning. We are. We've seen The Acolyte canceled. We've seen Concord taken down. We've seen Batgirl canceled and taken away and put up for a tax break. Willow removed from Disney Plus. All of these things that were made to pander to you, that were made to force political agenda onto you, they're starting to vanish in place of things that are making money that actually focus on entertainment. So stay the course, guys. Don't let them scare you away. And never, ever, ever bring it to a place of racial, gender, or any other kind of hatred. Hate doesn't win the day. Honesty wins the day. Be honest about your opinions. There are bad apples in every bunch. And are there some people that probably said some horribly heinous, racist, sexist things to Leslie Headland and Amanda Sameface? Sure, I'm sure there are. But you know what? It's not the majority of us because the majority of people that are critical of this show are critical about the things that are meant to be critical about. Never stoop to that level. Ever. What do you guys think? Do you think that these people are going to actually succeed in deplatforming three of the biggest names in our community? Sound off in the comment section below. Let me know. What we're seeing here is nothing short of targeted harassment. It's cancel culture trying to form a megazord to attack three of its biggest obstacles. Here's the bottom line. The culture war tide has turned in recent years, and these three men, alongside people like The Drinker, Pro, Mr. H, Drunk 3PO, Culture Casino Az, and many others, have been leading the charge. The wokies are losing, and these participation trophy pansies don't know how to lose. So instead of pushing for better content, they're instead trying to silence the naysayers. Leslie Headland was very clear about who was to blame if the Acolyte didn't succeed. Before the show came out, she said that the fault ultimately would lie with her. Of course, she hadn't publicly stepped up to shoulder that blame since it was canceled, and I sincerely doubt that she will. Not when the mindless Star Wars wokies are all too willing to place the blame elsewhere for her. Now, I want to be clear here, monsters. Is this infuriating? Yes, but do not harass and scream at or threaten the people running this campaign. That only feeds into it. Instead, show your support for Gary, Jeremy, and Ryan by subscribing to their channels, supporting their streams, consuming their content, and if the unthinkable happens and YouTube actually listens to these bottom feeder cancel pigs, then tweet at Team YouTube and politely ask them for a manual review to correct this mistake. And to Gary, Jeremy, and Ryan, we here at Tooneytown TV and Tooneytown Wrestling support you guys through and through. You're an inspiration to many aspiring content creators, this one included. Thank you for being so nice when I met you earlier last year. An attack on you is an attack on all of us. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you consider becoming a Tooneytown TV member to gain access to exclusive content, a members-only live stream, the ability to be on a panel with me, and so much more. And please join us Thursday nights at 8 p.m. for Tooney Talk TV, a live stream pop culture podcast where you can make your voice heard as part of the Tooneytown community. If you liked what you saw here today, please like, share, and subscribe. Click the bell icon to get notified of new videos as they drop. From all of us here at the Tooneytown channels, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!